Hey, Wolverines, I have a juicy one for you today. Let's go ahead and talk about the Repeal the NFA Act. Republican Representative Eric Burlington from Montana is introducing a bill that will repeal the National Firearms Act of 1934. Before we get into that, my name is John Crump. On this channel, we discuss 2A almost every day. If you can do me a big favor, like, comment, and subscribe, I would definitely appreciate it. And while you're at it, head over to Definition Knives and buy one of these. This is the DK1, and it's a freaking great knife. All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about this bill. Tomorrow, which is Monday, H.R. 221 will be introduced into the House of Representatives. The purpose of the bill is to repeal the NFA of 1934. The NFA is an interesting law. It bans machine guns, short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, suppressors, and AOWs, which stand for any other weapons. Basically, it's like Wally guns and stuff like that. In addition to going through a bunch of different paperwork and having wait periods and stuff like that, so you get your NFA weapon, you also have to pay a $200 tax stamps for everything besides the transfer of an AOW. Now, if you make an AOW, it's still a $200 tax stamp, but if you transfer a AOW, it is only a $5 charge. One of the interesting things about the NFA that doesn't get brought up enough is why SBSs and SBRs are included in the NFA. The NFA main goal was to ban handguns. Well, that got removed, but the SBSs and SBR part of the NFA stayed in. You see, they wanted to ban SBSs and SBRs because they saw that as a way of getting around a handgun ban. But when the handgun part was removed, they left in the SBSs and SBRs. I believe that the NFA is unconstitutional. There's a case called Murdoch versus Pennsylvania. It references a Jehovah Witness that was going around with pamphlets, and he would give you a pamphlet, and if you want, you can give him a donation. Well, they tried to charge him for not having a solicitor's license. That case went to the Supreme Court, where they ruled that you cannot put a direct tax on a right. This right was the freedom of religion. Yet the NFA is a direct tax on a right. They tax your right to bear arms, which I don't see how it does not violate Murdoch. The Supreme Court has been very hesitant of touching any NFA cases. SCOTUS has kicked the can down the road on challenging the NFA for a long time, and honestly, I do not believe that will change anytime soon. SCOTUS can determine the cases they want to hear, and I do not see a challenge to the NFA actually making it in front of the judges. But who knows? A bill might be our best shot to get NFA repealed, although I do not think that this bill is going to pass. Even if it does pass, there's some troubling wording in it, so it's not written as clear as it should be. For example, there should be protection against states taking people's rights to own NFA weapons away. There is no protections against the states in there, and I believe that there really should be. But all in all, this bill is not going to pass, but it will bring a spotlight onto the NFA and get people talking. Like I always say, bills never pass on the first try, and sometimes the point of a bill is not to get it passed, but to make a symbolic gesture. Now, you might say that that symbolic gesture is no good, but it does move the needle a lot. So I salute the rep for bringing up the Repeal the NFA Act. I just wish it was written a little bit better, but it's probably not going to even get to the floor to get a vote because every Democrat will vote against it. And there are some Republicans in the House of Representatives, such as Fitzpatrick and some others, that will never, ever vote for this bill. So it's never going to make it through the House, but let's say somehow it does. In the Senate, it might get more support from Republicans than in the House, But in the Senate, you need a supermajority to get anything passed. And there is not a single Democrat in the Senate that will vote to repeal the NFA. Let's say it does get to the Senate and it goes to Trump's desk. Will Trump sign it? I don't know. That would be an interesting test. But we need to bring these bills up to see who co sponsors them and who votes for them. One of the good things about a bill like this is it puts people on the record. Even though that they're going to try to avoid bringing it to the floor for a vote, we need to push them to bring it to a floor for a vote so we know where our representatives stand. This is a tool for you and me to use. And it is kind of interesting that there's a bill to repeal the NFA because the NFA, in my opinion, is definitely unconstitutional. All right, guys, that is it for this Sunday night. I hope you have a wonderful night. Stay ever vigilant, stay ever free, keep in the fight. And if you go to SHOT on Wednesday of SHOT Show week at 1 o'clock at the GOA booth, I will be doing a meet and greet. So I hope to see many of you guys there. All right, guys, that's it. Wolverines MFers.